constructive rest. It means that your feet are out as wide as your mat and your knees are knocking in towards one another. And so that your tailbone gets nice and long, you can rest with your arms by your sides. Close your eyes and just feel the support of the floor underneath you, that stability. And as you rest your body into the floor, you allow yourself to start to really feel your breath and to feel the pathway of your breath, where it's moving in your body, how it's moving, and taking a moment to just assess the quality of your breath. If your breath is deep or full or shallow or hurried, without any sort of judgments. And so there's another opportunity for us to let go of judgments, even in our own practice, judgments towards ourselves, others, or the dog that's barking next door, which we're working on releasing judgments about that in my house. So just some nice, deep, steady breaths. Allowing your mind to start to move more at the tempo of your breath, more to stabilize. And then take your arms straight up towards the ceiling and reach your fingertips for the ceiling so that your shoulder blades separate from one another. And wrap your right arm on top of your left arm, moving your hands to the back of your body. You can grab a hold of your shoulder blades and gently pull them apart from one another, just creating some spaciousness in the back body, that part we often forget about. And even as you're hugging yourself here, can you experience a widening of the collarbones at the same time you experience a widening of the shoulder blades? Take one more round of breath. And then as you inhale, take your arms straight back up towards the ceiling again and reach your fingertips for the ceiling. So again, you feel that separation between your shoulder blades. And then wrap your left arm on top of your right arm, walking your hands a little bit more towards the midline of the back of your body. And placing your awareness in your collarbones, making sure that there's no compression even as you widen through the back of the body. Take one last round of breath here, and then take your arms out wide, either like a T shape or a cactus. You can choose which one feels better in your body. Heel toe your feet so that they are all the way together. And then without worrying too much about the shape, just allow your knees to fall down towards the right. You don't have to worry about stacking your knees or anything like that. Just kind of let things fall where they fall. And feeling the floor underneath your left shoulder blade. Allowing yourself to breathe. And observing any subtle sensations that you feel. Take a big inhale. And as you exhale, bring your knees back to the center. And on that same exhale breath, let your knees fall down towards the left-hand side. And just observe if there's any difference. Observe any subtle sensations that you feel. Allow your breath to expand, and anywhere you feel sensation is an opportunity for you to stretch from the inside out. Take one more big inhale, and as you exhale, bring your knees back into the center and hug your knees in towards your chest. And just give them a nice little snuggle. And again, take your arms out either like a T or a cactus. And this time we're going to twist to the right again. So the knees are in as close to your chest as you can bring them. And as you drop your knees to the right, you're going to try to land your knees as close to your right arm as you can. So it's a much tighter twist. Yeah. And observe the sensation here. It's probably a little bit more. So just breathe into it and observe. So for today's practice, I want you guys to don't go as far as you possibly can and then breathe and try to like get okay with it. Rather go, not as far as you possibly can and breathe and notice the very subtle evolution into the shape. Take one more inhale And as you exhale, bring your knees right back into your chest. And on that same exhale breath, let the knees fall down towards the left arm, bringing your knees as close to your arm as you can snuggle them up there. And then bring your awareness back to your right shoulder blade, gluing it down to the floor. Can you find that rhythm to your breath here? Okay, take another inhale. And as you exhale, bring your knees back up to the center. And now I want you guys to stack your knees directly over your hips. So kind of that tabletop shape. Arms are still out to the side, either T or cactus. So we did one that was kind of very not tight. We did one that was tight, and this one's going to be right in the middle. So with your knees stacked over your hips, now allow yourself to twist towards the right. And just observe the difference. Kind of like the three bears, one is too hot, one is too cold, and one is just right. Which one does your body like? Maybe it likes all three, and you just get a more different sensation to explore with each one. Take an inhale. As you exhale, bring your knees back on top of your hips, and on that same exhale breath, allow the knees to descend towards the left. And just observe your breath. Take an inhale. As you exhale, stack your knees back on top of your hips. Your shins are parallel to the floor. Take your arms straight up towards the ceiling, palms facing one another. Be aware that your left knee stays stacked on top of your left hip. Extend your right leg forward and your left arm backwards and scoop out your belly, making sure you maintain all the same points of contact. And as you exhale, bring everything back into reverse tabletop. Being aware that your right knee stays right on top of your hip. As you inhale, left leg forward, right arm stretches back behind you. Inhale, bring it back to the center. And continue, extend the right leg, left arm as you inhale. As you exhale, come back into the center. Really place your attention in your abdominal muscles and see how much you can get them to work. Inhaling, finding that length. Exhaling, bringing it back. And let's just do one more on each side, exploring how long you can get, but how much you can hold your energy in the center of your body. Synchronizing movement and breath here. Cultivating awareness. Good. When you find your way back up into reverse tabletop, give your knees a little snuggle. And then rock and roll yourself up and down the length of your spine. Always nice to do that a few times. Give yourself a massage. And eventually rock and roll yourself all the way up. And just come to a seated position for a moment. Sit with your shins crossed. Rest your hands on your inner knees just so that you can lengthen the spine. So you're using your hands pressing down to elongate your spine, stacking the center of your skull over the center of your pelvis, allowing your body to organize into an aligned and strong shape. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. And let's embark on our practice with one chant of Om. You can either chant along with me or just allow yourself to resonate with the sound. So take a deep inhale. And allow your eyes to open. Hello. Come to all fours. And as you come to all fours, let's just take a moment and stretch the wrists. So maybe turn your fingers to face your knees. Micro bend the elbows, shift your hips backwards, but try to keep the crease of your wrist gluing down into the floor. And as you breathe, notice the change, the variation of the sensation. Good, and then turn your hands back to face forward again. And flip your left hand over so that you're on the back of your palm. You might just do one at a time if that's intense for you. If it's not so intense, you can do two at a time. If you're just doing the one, go ahead and switch so you're doing the right. Good, and then flip your hands over again and really explore the capacity of your palm to get as wide as possible. So with your palms nice and wide, tuck your toes under, hover your knees an inch above your yoga mat, and look at your arms and think about if you had a block between your forearms, you were squeezing into that block. At the same time, you were creating more space between the collarbones. Take an inhale here, and keeping your knees very bent as you exhale, lift your hips up and back into downward facing dog. Push the front of your yoga mat towards the front of the room, and then bend one knee a little bit deeper and press the other heel down into the mat. Make sure you're pressing evenly into both hands. Bend the knee that's straight and press the other heel down into the mat, stretching through that Achilles, that calf. Good, and then bend both knees evenly and see if you can lift your pelvis up, up, up. Make it taller and taller and taller and taller. Keep stretching until you feel that stretch into your hamstring. And then think about your inner thighs spinning back as you release your heels down towards the mat. Press into the root of every single finger and imagine that that crease of your wrist could get a little bit lighter as you press into the fingers. So we de-weight the wrists a little bit. Let's take 3 deep breaths here. Take a deep inhale. Open your mouth and sigh it out, maybe making the sound of ha. Again, deep inhale. Fill your body with breath, filling into the back of your body and the sides of your body. Open your mouth and let it go. And one more time. Long, steady, deep breath. What are you energetically exfoliating as you release this breath? And then on your next inhale breath, shift forward to the top of a push-up. Imagine you could suction energy up out of the earth through your palms and elongate through the inseams of your arms. Broaden your collarbones and your shoulder blades at the same time. Scoop your low belly in and up and press your heels against an imaginary wall behind you. Take a big inhale, and as you exhale, transition your hips up and back into downward facing dog. So here's an opportunity to move as slowly or as quickly as you'd like to move. You're always following that inner teacher, inhaling, shifting forward to the top of a push-up, finding strength as you come into plank, and finding length as you find downward facing dog. So one more time, as you shift forward into plank, you're thinking strength. You're a plank. If somebody were to walk across your back, you are strong enough to hold them up. And as you exhale, finding that length into your downward facing dog. Good, and then shift forward to the top of a push-up again. Knees up or down, lower yourself halfway down chaturanga and hover. 3, 2, 1, and release your belly all the way down to the floor. Reach your right toes as far towards the back of your mat as you can, and then match it with your left. So you're pressing the tops of your feet down and your legs are super long. Hands are right underneath the elbows. Pull your yoga mat backward and start to coil the upper spine up, using your shoulder blades to lift the front body. Pause here. Look at your cheekbones. Take one more inhale. And as you exhale, allow your spine to roll back down towards the floor. Again, inhale, rolling it up. Maybe you press into your hands a little bit more this time. Lift a little bit higher. Still gazing at your cheekbones. Good. As you exhale, roll back down. So the top of the feet and the pubic bone are pressing down. Last time, inhale, Bhujangasana. Lift up into that baby cobra. Maybe you straighten your arms just a little bit more, but keep your pelvis down on the floor. Good. And as you exhale, release it back down. Big toes touch, knees slightly apart. Shift your hips back into a child's pose. And just see if you can elongate through the sides of the body as your hips lengthen back towards your heels. Rooting down through the palms, the underside of the forearms are lifting up to support the bones of your forearms. As your triceps try to spiral down towards the floor, your biceps try to lift towards the ceiling. You can imagine you have these beautiful long ribbons helping to elongate your arms. Walk your hands towards the right as you shift your hips to the left. Breathe into the left side of your body. Feel that stretch. Good, and then walk your hands back through the center and off to the left. And sit your hips a little bit more to the right as you lengthen through the right side of your body. Good, and then walk your hands back out in front of you. Pull yourself forward as if your hands had crazy glue on them. Tuck your toes under. And again, lift your hips up and back into downward facing dog. With your knees fairly bent so you can evaluate how much you can lift those sitting bones higher, higher, higher. And with the knees bent, you feel that stretch more into the belly of the hamstring muscles. And then release your heels down. And imagine you were trying to lift up to create more space for a triangle underneath you. Good. And then slowly start to walk your feet all the way forward towards the front of your mat. When you get there, take your feet as wide as you need to. Bend your knees a little bit so that you can release the crown of your head down. You can place your fingertips on the floor, clasp opposing elbows, whatever feels good. If you'd like to sway your body from side to side or interlace your hands behind your back, do whatever you need to do here. Whatever you can do to think about releasing the crown of the head a little bit lower down towards the floor. So when we energetically exfoliate, a lot of the time we have to release what's been in our mind. Good. And then wherever you are, release your fingertips down towards the floor. As you inhale, coil your upper spine up, but draw the lowest part of your belly in to support this. And as you exhale, fold back down, bring your hands to your hips. As you inhale, rise all the way up. Lift the frontal hip points up. And then shift the weight into your right foot. Reach your left leg out in front of you. Turn your inner thigh up towards the ceiling and firm your right hip into the midline. So we're going into tree pose right away. Take a hold of your left shin and place your foot either on your inner calf or inner thigh. Create equal pressure between your foot and your thigh, pressing back into your foot. And bring your hands together in front of your heart. So as you try to externally rotate your left knee a little bit more, make sure that the frontal hip points are still facing forward, that we're not revolving the pelvis. We're just externally rotating the thigh bone inside of the hip socket. When you're ready, take your arms straight up to the sky, triceps facing forward, inner upper shoulders relaxed. Good, and then take your arms straight out to the side, and as you reach out to the side, feel from the thumb side of your hand your collarbones elongating, and from the pinky side of your hand your shoulder blades, creating more space between each other. And then hinge forward as if you're peeking over a cliff. And as you inhale, circle your arms up and stand all the way up, your full height. Think of yourself as a majestic, long-living, wise tree. And as you exhale, release everything. Take a moment to recalibrate, feeling both feet on the floor, feeling your heart lifting from the inside out. Shift your weight to your left foot, turn your right inner thigh up towards the ceiling, but make sure you're firming that left hip in. And find your way into tree pose. So wherever you practice is fine. Make sure that your foot is not wrapping around your thigh, but is rather pointing straight down the inseam of your left thigh. And then how much can you press your left leg back into your right foot? Hands together in front of your heart. Allow yourself to breathe. And then try to take that right knee out a little further without revolving your pelvis. So place your awareness in those frontal hip points. Once you have your edge there, take your arms straight up to the ceiling. Relax the inner upper shoulders. See if you can elongate through the middle part of your spine. Can you lift the rib cage away from the kidneys? Good. And then take your arms out to the side. Feel the collarbones getting longer from the thumb side of your hand and the shoulder blades getting more spacious from the pinky side of your hand. And then start to hinge forward as if you were just peeking over a cliff. Making an adjustment in how we perceive what's happening. And then on your inhale, upright your spine, circle your arms all the way up. And think of yourself as this majestic, wise, long-living, very experienced tree. Good, and then as you're ready, release gracefully all the way down. Finding Samastiti. Samastiti means balanced, harmonious posture. So can you lift your heart from the inside out? Imagining that you are balancing a book on the crown of your head. Good. And then as you inhale, circle your arms, gather everything up above you, whatever intention you have. And as you exhale, bow to the wisdom of that intention. As you inhale, lift your chest, firm your quadriceps to lift the kneecaps. And as you exhale, fold back into yourself. As you inhale, circle the arms, reach all the way up. Tailbone is long, heart is lifted from the inside out. As you exhale, hands come back together in front of your heart. Good. As you inhale, spin the arms, reach up, get long, get tall. As you exhale, bow to the wisdom of your intention and the wisdom of your inner teacher. Lifting the kneecaps with the quadriceps. As you inhale, lift your chest. Good, and as you exhale, step your left foot to the back with the yoga mat, drop your left knee down. Imagine you could squeeze your right heel backwards, and as you inhale, rise up Anjaneyasana. So you're still trying to get really tall, rib cage is lifting away from the pelvis. Shoulders are relaxed, triceps face forward. As you exhale, bring your hands down, tuck your back toes under, straighten your back leg, and then take your right leg back to meet your left. So you're in the top of a push-up. Knees up or down, shift forward. As you exhale, lower halfway down. As you inhale, lift the chest. Baby cobra, upward facing dog. If you're ready, push the floor away. Good. As you exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg straight back behind you. Try to keep that leg nice and neutral. As you exhale, shift forward, knee to chest, and step your foot between your hands. Drop your back knee down. Think about trying to slide your left heel backwards on the mat. And as you inhale, use that little lift in the low belly to help you lift your rib cage up away from your pelvis. Imagine that your arms were extended out of the sides of your waist. So you get really long here. Good, and as you exhale, bring your hands down, tuck your back toes under, back leg is nice and straight, and then step your right foot forward to meet your left. As you inhale, lift the chest, engage the quadriceps to lift the kneecaps. As you exhale, fold it in. As you inhale, circle the arms, gather that energy up above you, gather that intention, and as you exhale, bring it right down into your receptive and open heart. Good. Inhale, again, building a little heat. Circle the arms, reach up, scoop the low belly in. As you exhale, bow down to the wisdom of that teacher within. As you inhale, lift the chest, lift the kneecaps. As you exhale, step your right foot to the back of the yoga mat. Drop your right knee down. Think of squeezing your left heel backwards. And as you inhale, rise up. Feel the low belly scoop in. As you exhale, bring your hands down. Tuck the back toes under. Straight back leg. Slide your left foot back to meet your right. Knees up or down. Arms nice and strong. As you exhale, lower halfway down, using the front of your body to support the back of your body. Inhaling, spinning the inner thighs up as you lift your heart, gazing at your cheekbones. Exhale, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg straight back behind you. Keep it nice and neutral. You can watch and make sure the pinky toes still point down towards the floor. As you exhale, shift forward, step your foot between your hands, drop your back knee down. Think of sliding the right heel backwards as you inhale, rise up, and notice how that creates a little lift in the front of the body. Allow your heart to lift from the inside out. As you exhale, bring your hands down, tuck your back toes under, straighten that back leg, and then step your left foot forward to meet your right. As you inhale, lift the chest and the kneecaps. As you exhale, fold it in. As you inhale, circle and rise. Think of your body long, like a needle. And as you exhale, return to your heart, always coming back to the wisdom of your own heart. Good. We'll add on a little bit. Inhale, circle your arms and reach. Exhale, hinge from your hips and fold, bowing down. As you inhale, lift your chest. As you exhale, step your left foot to the back of your yoga mat. Lie your torso down on your right leg. So you're actually going to let your torso be supported on your right leg. And then bring your right thumb to your right hip crease and gently encourage that hip crease to move back as you spin your left inner thigh up towards the ceiling. And then take your arms straight out to the sides, palms facing down. From the thumb side of your hand, you feel that expansion across the collarbones. And from the pinky side of your hand, you feel it across your shoulder blades, so there's space. Good, and then turn your palms to face one another and reach forward so your biceps are in line with your ears. You're still laying your torso down on that right leg. Think about how long you can get. Awesome, as you exhale, bring your hands down, step your right foot back, and move through your vinyasa, knees up or down. Feeling free to skip vinyasas for any reason. Any reason at all. Coming back into that downward facing dog, inhale the left leg straight back behind you. Use your abdominal muscles to pull your knee forward towards your chest and to step your foot between your thumbs. And then let your torso make contact with your left thigh. Bring your left thumb to your left hip crease. As you encourage that left hip crease to move back, dramatically spin your right inner thigh up towards the ceiling. And then take your arms straight out and feel that elongation across the collarbones and the widening of the shoulder blades. And then turn your palms to face the front, circle your arms, and create a long line of energy from your back inseam of your right leg all the way through your fingertips. Keep drawing that left hip crease towards the back. As you exhale, release your hands down, step your right foot forward. Inhale to lift the chest, engage the quadriceps. Notice if one side works a little harder than the other. Exhale, fold back in. As you inhale, circle the arms, reach all the way up. And as you exhale, hands to your heart. We'll take one more round like that. Inhale, circle, rise, lift your energy up. Exhale, hinge from your hips and fold forward. Kneecaps are lifting. Inhale, lift the chest. As you exhale, step your right foot to the back of the yoga mat. Think about energetically sending that left hip back as you spin the right inner thigh up and stretch the arms to the side. On your next inhale breath, circle your arms to reach forward and really reach, lengthen through every single vertebrae of your spine. As you exhale, hands come down, move through a vinyasa if you so choose. Skip it for any reason at all. Good job. And then inhale your right leg straight back behind you. Use your abdominal muscles to pull your knee forward and step your foot between your hands. Laying your torso down on your right leg, think about drawing that right hip crease back, spinning the left inner thigh. The very top of the inner thighs move towards one another. Extend the arms out to the side, get that width, and on your inhale, stretch the arms forward, biceps in line with your ears. As you exhale, bring your hands down, step your left foot forward. Inhale to lift the chest, and exhale to fold it in. Inhale, circle and rise all the way up. And as you exhale, bring your hands together in front of your heart, completing a cycle. Good. And then bring your big toes to touch, heels slightly apart. Bend your knees, sit your hips back, sit your sitting bones as far away as the stretch of your arms, biceps in line with your cheekbones or your ears. And notice if you're tensing your inner upper shoulder. So think about your shoulder blades encapsulating the sides of your body. Good, now just shift the weight over to your right foot and hover your left foot an inch above the floor. Hug that outer right shin in, and then cross your left leg over your right leg once, maybe twice. Bring your left hand to your left hip crease and draw that left hip crease back so that you're not swiveling your torso. Then wrap your left arm underneath your right arm or give yourself a hug, coming into Garudasana. Eagle pose. This is the pose that lets us shift our perspective. So as you sit your hips a little lower, move your forearms away from your face, and see if you can get your spine more upright than you ordinarily do. Breathe. Feel the widening of the space between your shoulder blades. Good, and then as you inhale, allow this bird to fly away. Unravel the arms and suction the left knee up towards the chest as the arms reach towards the sky. Good, and then as you exhale, release. Release your foot down, release your hands down. Bend your knees, inhale, chair pose as you circle your arms. Think about the fingertips and the hips, the sitting bones moving away from each other, and this is fierce. We're fierce in this pose. We're even more fierce when we shift the weight into our left, taking a single-sided chair. Hug that outer left shin in, and then cross your right leg over your left. You can always place a little kickstand down. Bring your right thumb to your right hip crease. It definitely swiveled, so swivel it back to the midline. Good, and then wrap your right arm underneath your left arm. Or give yourself a hug, same arm variation. Lift the elbows, move the forearms away from your face so you feel that spaciousness between the shoulder blades. Notice your self-talk around balancing. It's just a yoga pose. We're supposed to fall out of them at times. It's part of the practice. So you let your bird fly away as you unravel the arms, circle the arms. Right knee lifts into the chest, stretch the arms, elongate the spine. Good, and as you exhale, release everything back down. Take a moment, Samastiti, balanced, harmonious posture. Take a breath here. Good. Step your feet out the wide way, so you're in line with the side edges of your yoga mat. Good. Look down at your toes and make sure that your second toe is aligned to the short edges of your mat. Bring your hands to your hips, and as you lift those frontal hip points up, I want you to think about creasing from or folding from those hip creases. Long spine, fold forward, stop when you're halfway. Draw the lowest part of your belly in, and then release your spine all the way down. Bring your hands down to the floor. Take a few breaths here and see if you can allow the crown of the head to get a little bit closer to the floor. Think about squeezing up the inseams of your legs to lift your pubic bone, to lift your pelvic floor a little bit higher. Good, now shift the weight into your right leg, bend your right knee, and swivel your left toes up. So we're coming into Skandasana. You can place a block underneath your sitting bone if you need to. Try not to go up onto the ball of your right foot. Left toes are pointing straight up towards the ceiling. Good, and then transition to your second side. Walk your hands over towards the left. As you sit your hips to the left, swivel your right toes up. Find your breath. Good, and then come back to that wide-legged forward fold with your hands right in the middle. And then walk your hands back to the behind your feet, behind your heels, and release the crown of your head down. Good. Bring your hands back to your hips. And as you inhale, rise all the way up. Good. So let's turn the right foot forward. Turn the left foot in roughly 10 to 15 degrees and make sure you have heel to arch alignment. Yeah? Bend your right knee so that it tracks right over the center of your right foot. Hands at the hips. See if you can lift the front of the pelvis up a little bit more so the tailbone is nice and long. And imagine that you're trying to move your right knee towards the pinky side of your foot. And take your arms like cactus arms. With your cactus arms, can you feel the expansion of the collarbones and then reach the arms forward and backward? Good. Back out of your warrior two a little bit. So straighten your front leg a little bit and then imagine someone was pulling your left hand backward. Good. Now rebend that right knee a little bit deeper. And as you do, imagine that you were trying to create a little support underneath that right sitting bone. Flip your right palm over as you inhale, reverse your warrior. Pause and marinate here, bend that right knee a little bit deeper. And as you exhale, circle your right arm, forearm to the thigh, top arm stretches over your ear. Try to turn the right side of your waist down towards the floor as you roll the left lung up towards the ceiling. And if you want a little bit more here, you can reach the right arm out as well, like you're holding a great beach ball out in front of you. 3, 2, 1. Return to warrior two. Press into the mound of your right big toe, straighten your leg, and revolve your right toes so they're 10 to 15 degrees in. Revolve your left toes so they're facing what was backward. We'll call it forwards now. Same heel to arch alignment, check it out. And then bend your left knee so that it tracks right over the center of your foot. You could think about scooping that outer left sitting bone underneath you. Anchoring through the outer edge of your right foot. Good, now just back out a little bit of your warrior two. Back out a little bit. And imagine someone was pulling your right arm backwards a little bit more. Good. Rebend the left knee again. Cactus the elbows. See if you can get both the bicep and the tricep side of your arm to feel a little longer. And then stretch the arms forward and backward again. Firm the triceps so much so your shoulders don't have to work. And then flip your left palm over. And as you inhale, reverse your warrior, get deeper bend into your left knee. As you exhale, bring your forearm to your thigh. Stretch your top arm over your ear. Make sure you're not collapsing into your left shoulder, that there's a sense of elevation. As you spin your left lung down towards the floor, your right lung lifts up towards the sky. And if you want, extend that left arm forward as well, like you're holding a giant beach ball out in front of you. 3, 2, 1. Return to warrior two. Good. Press into the mound of your left big toe, straighten your legs and bring your feet back to parallel. And as you bring your feet back to parallel, interlace your hands behind your back or use a strap. As you inhale, send your knuckles down towards the floor. Lift your heart from the inside out.
Good, nice pull-up. And as you exhale, long spine as you fold forward. Stop when you're halfway, draw the lowest part of your belly in, and then feel your pelvis revolve over your thighs as your knuckles take a journey over the back of your skull. Breathe. Good. Release your hands down to the floor. Just note which thumb you had on top if you were interlacing. Walk your hands over towards your left leg. Fold your torso down over your left leg. And then notice, did your right side of your pelvis drop lower? Try to align the two. And then spin the left arm up to the sky and feel yourself twisting. Allow yourself to breathe as the reach of your arm helps to lift the left side of your waist. Take one more inhale, and as you exhale, release it down. Walk your hands to your opposite leg. I think that's going to be the right. Feel your torso trying, the front of your torso trying to move towards your right thigh, and then take the right arm up. And be aware, does your pelvis shift? Keep your pelvis even. And let the reach of your arm churn the muscles of your torso. Good, you guys. And then slowly release back down. Walk your hands back to the center. Reach your arms around behind your back again. Interlace opposite thumb on top. And as you stretch the arms back behind you, then allow the knuckles to fall over the back of the skull just to take that journey. Suction the heads of your shoulders away from the floor, so you'll feel a little bit more squeezing between your shoulder blades. Good, and as you exhale, release your fingertips down to the floor. We'll be here for a few breaths, just decompressing in this forward fold, so if you'd like to go upside down, go for it. Take your time, make sure you can do so safely. Otherwise, just stay and allow your spine to unravel any tension. Gravity assists the vertebrae in separating from one another. If you went upside down, gracefully, slowly come back. As you inhale, reach your chest forward. Think of engaging through your inner thighs. Good. As you exhale, fold back in, bring your hands to your hips. As you inhale, rise all the way up. Feel your pelvis revolve. Nice job. And as you exhale, you can bend your knees and either step or jump your feet together. Step to the top of your yoga mat, big toes touching, heels slightly apart, and take a moment in Samastiti, balanced, harmonious posture, coming into alignment with your own path, your own wisdom that's leading you down this path called life. Bend your knees, circle your arms, Utkatasana fiercely. Good, as you exhale, fold forward, then straighten your legs. As you inhale, engage the quadriceps, lift the chest, scoop the low belly. As you exhale, step, walk, jump, back of your mat. If you jump, you land with elbows bent. As you inhale, lift the chest. Good, nice sharing. As you exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg straight back behind you. As you exhale, use your abdominals to pull your knee forward towards your chest. Step your foot between your hands. Seal the outer edge of your left foot down. Rising up into Virabhadrasana 1. So we face forward. Inhale and rise. Good. Now straighten your front leg all the way so that you can stand a little bit more on your back left foot. Spin your left inner thigh towards the wall behind you. And anchoring into your back left foot, rebend your right knee as your fingertips continue to lift your rib cage away from your pelvis, away from your kidneys. Good. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. Heel toe your right foot towards the left a little bit and open up into Virabhadrasana 2. Good. Imagine someone was pulling that left arm backward. Flip your right palm as you inhale, reverse the warrior. As you exhale, side angle pose. You can grab a block, place the block on the outside of your right ankle, press the outside of your right knee into the right arm, And take the left arm up and over, going for a long hold here. Churning the right side of the rib cage down, the left side up towards the ceiling. Imagine the left side of your body growing so long as you reach through your left fingertips. Good, take your left arm back up to the sky. Press into the mound of your right big toe to straighten that right leg, coming right into triangle pose, Trikonasana. Turn your chest so that your chest is facing the wall you're looking at. Good. And then bring your hand to your hip, bend into your right knee, move your block a few inches forward of your pinky toe, and float up into Ardha Chandrasana. And as you come into that Ardha Chandrasana, think of the inseam of your left leg pointing straight down towards the floor, the outer crease of your right hip drawing towards the back of the mat. And maybe the top arm completes the pose by extending towards the sky. If you want to work on balance, you can reach that right arm forward. Good. Now swivel your torso down so that you're in a supported warrior 3. Neutralize your left hip. So feel that left front hip magnetizing down towards the floor as the left inner thigh reaches up towards the ceiling. And then slowly start to bend your right knee. Land your left foot about a third of the way back and come into pyramid pose. So bring the blocks in line with your right foot. Stand a little bit more into your left foot. Imagine you could really anchor into that back left foot. And it's like you're stepping on the gas pedal with the ball of your right foot. Good, now rebend your right knee, walk your blocks forward a little bit more, and float up into a standing split. So this time you just lift that left leg up and fold your spine down so that you can feel your belly on top of your right thigh. If you practice handstands, it might be a nice opportunity to practice a little bit of a kick up into the handstand. And then start to bend your right knee. Reach your left leg this time way back behind you. Land on the ball of your foot. And circle your arms up for crescent lunge. Good, so options. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. Twist the left elbow over to the outside of the right thigh. You can drop the back knee down if that feels better, or you can keep it lifted if you prefer. Think about what you're energetically exfoliating as you use your navel drawing back towards your spine to deepen the twist. Some of you might want to take second stage with the arms. Left arm stretches down, right arm stretches up. Final breaths here. Find your way back to downward facing dog, however you choose to do so. Take a moment in downward facing dog to just catch up with yourself, to just arrive. We're coming back to this present moment, not thinking about what just happened or what's about to happen. Who knows, I could do a totally different thing on the second side. We've all seen it happen before. And now the left leg, straight back behind you. Think of the inner thigh side of your left leg lifting. Exhale, shift forward, use your abdominals. Step your foot between your hands. You can heel toe your left foot to the left a little bit. Seal the outer edge of your right foot down. And rise up for Virabhadrasana 1. So you're facing forward. Good. Straighten your left leg. Stand more into your right leg. And spin your right inner thigh towards the back wall. Keep that as you rebend the left knee. Keep reaching both fingertips, both sets of fingertips, straight up towards the ceiling. So really explore, hi Stinky, really explore that length of your spine. Good, now heel toe your left foot over towards the right. Open up the arms, Virabhadrasana 2. Lift the front of your pelvis up. You guys see that? That front likes to get really crunched in, so lift it up off of your left thigh. Revolve your left palm up as you inhale. Reverse your warrior, nice deep bend of your left knee. As you exhale, find your block. Place it to the outside of your left ankle. Seal your knee into your arm and take your arm all the way over your ear. Long hold here in Parsvottanasana. Turn the left ribs down, right ribs roll up towards the ceiling. Left outer knee is putting lots of pressure into your left arm. Good, take your right arm straight back up towards the ceiling and press into the ball of your left foot, coming into Trikonasana from here. I know it feels a little bit weird. So you're pressing the mound of your left big toe as you hug your outer left shin in. Lean back against an imaginary wall behind you, but at the same time press your pelvis in the opposite direction. Good. Bring your right hand to your hip. Bend into your left knee. Slide your block a few inches forward. You can shorten the distance a little if you need to. And float that right leg up, Ardha Chandrasana. Think of that stirrup on the left foot, lifting evenly up the inseam and the outseam of your leg. And then that right inner thigh is nice and strong, supporting your right leg. Right arm comes up to complete your pose, and maybe you're working on balance or something. Doesn't matter, you choose. Whatever it is, it's all about breathing. So don't go as far as you possibly can and then just work on using your breath to sustain it. Go less far and use your breath to progress any amount into the shape. Good, and then slowly revolve your right hand down and feel your pelvis revolve back to neutral as you find your right hand on a block or on the floor. Draw that outer left hip crease back, spin the right inner thigh up towards the ceiling, and then start to bend the left knee. Reach the right leg about a third of the way back, landing heel to heel, perhaps a little wider, and slide the blocks back so they're in line with your left ankle. Stand a little bit more into your right foot and allow your torso to lay down over your left leg. Pressing into the ball mound of your left foot, outer left shin hugs in. Think of both inner thighs reaching towards the back of your mat. Good, and then walk your blocks forward again, bend into your left knee and rise up into a standing split. So even more so now, you're letting your torso lay down on top of your left leg, floating your right leg up, and perhaps taking a few little kick-ups into handstand if that's your jam. If not, notice if your left hip is drifting out to the left. Can you firm that left hip in a little bit more? Good, then start to bend that left knee, reach the right leg way back behind you. Land on the ball of your foot. Drawing that left outer hip crease in, right inner thigh towards the ceiling. Circle your arms, rise up. Very straight spine. Spine is like stretching out of the bowl of your pelvis. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. And revolve your right elbow to the outside of your left knee. As you press your palms together, consider dropping that back knee down. Press the left palm down on top of the right and lift your heart towards your thumbs. Right inner thigh spinning up towards the ceiling. Second stage with the arms if you like. Remember, don't go as far as you possibly can and then just breathe trying to hold on to it. Go less far and breathe and observe the subtlety of the slight movement as you get a little deeper. Good, and then unravel, take your hands down and find your way back to downward facing dog, however you get there. If you're taking a vinyasa, it is the last one. Good. And then shift forward to the top of a push-up. And lower both forearms down into forearm planks. So make sure that your forearms are parallel to one another. And start to walk your toes in towards your elbows for dolphin pose. Magnetize the crown of your head down. Lift up out of your armpits. Lift up out of your shoulder joints. Elevate the sitting bones as much as you can so you feel the belly of your hamstring stretching. walk your toes back so you're back in a forearm plank. And as you come into the forearm plank, imagine squeezing your forearms backwards, squeezing your toes forward so that the center of your body contracts. Holding for 3, 2, 1, and release your pelvis down towards the floor, coming into a Sphinx pose. So as you come into that Sphinx pose, imagine you could lift your sternum from the inside out. Good. Look back towards your right ankle. So just a little bit of a twist through your spine. Look center, and then look back over your left. Good. Come back to the center. And if you want a little more, you can start to lift the elbows away from the floor. Of course, if that's too much, don't do it. And then release your spine all the way down. And for the next few rounds of breath, just feel your belly expanding into the earth. As your belly expands into the earth, it's going to send more breath into the back of your body. And we're about to do a back bend. So just start to feel that breath through the back of your body. Lift your right foot up off of the floor. Stretch your right leg as long as you can and place your right foot down, all 5 toes in contact with your yoga mat. And then lift your left foot up, same thing, get longer through the left leg. And press your left foot down, feeling that all 5 toenails are pressing down into the floor, so all 10 toenails now. So your hands are stacked, right hand on top of the left, let's say that. Forehead on top of the back of the right hand, pressing the tops of the feet and the pubic bone down into the floor. Start to lift the forearms, head, and shoulders away from the floor. Keep rooting down through the left and the right side of the pubic bone. Keep the forehead glued to the palms, and then keep this alignment in your neck as you reach your arms back behind you. You can either turn your palms to face the outsides of your mat, or if it's available, you can interlace your fingers and stretch your arms back, allowing it to lift your chest a little bit more. Check out your feet. Did they get weak? Keep pressing them strong down into the mat. Then lengthen the legs so much that they just lift the slightest amount up away from the floor. Take one more inhale. If you have your hands interlaced, make sure you know which one it is. As you exhale, release. Stack your left hand on top of your right hand. Rest your forehead on the back of your left hand. Allow yourself to breathe into the floor. Lengthen your left leg back behind you. Root the pinky toenail down. Do the same with the right. So the legs are strong. Press the pelvis down into the floor. And keeping those anchor points, start to lift the elbows, forearms, and head away from the floor, keeping the alignment. Stretch your arms, reach back behind you, and maybe interlace the opposite thumb on top, and use that to lift your chest a little bit more. Good. Lengthen the legs so much that they float up. You're gazing at your cheekbones. Get longer and longer and longer through your legs. 3, 2, 1. Release it down. Take your arms out to the sides, either straight out to the sides like a T, or cactus the arms, you choose. I'm going to say arm, I'm going to take mine straight out to the side. I'm going to float your left leg up off of the floor, and then roll your left hip away from the floor. Roll onto the right side of your body, and land the ball of your left foot on the floor. So you're getting a stretch through the right chest, right shoulder. Good. Slowly roll back onto your belly. Allow your body to fully neutralize. Stretch the arms, feel the spaciousness between the shoulder blades, and then float the right leg up and bring the right leg over towards the left. Land the ball of your foot as you roll away from that left shoulder. That's it, Pat, you're good. And then slowly roll it back to the center. And roll it all the way over onto your back. And as you come onto your back, cross your right ankle over your left knee. Grab a hold of the front of your left shin or the back of your left thigh. Press the right knee out towards the right or towards the front so that your belt line is level. Just breathing here, allowing everything to get a little bit more still, a little bit more quiet. And observe the deepening of the posture versus going to your edge right away and then just trying to breathe through it. Go a little bit less and find your way. Find that there's a pathway. Keep your ankle crossed over your knee. Release your left foot back down to the floor. Take the arms out to the side. And keeping thread the needle, allow the right sole of your foot to magnetize down towards the left side of the mat. Good. And then you can take your left hand and press your right knee away from you to feel a little bit more stretch into the outer hip. Good. Slowly take a big inhale, and as you exhale, bring it back to the center. Switch the cross of your ankle. Drag the right knee in and press the left knee away from you. Observe the quality of your mind. Organizing your body here. Notice how your pelvis is relative to your collarbones. Are they in line? And then drop the right foot down to the floor. Extend the arms to the side and magnetize the sole of your left foot towards the right hand side of your mat. And of course you can take that right hand and push the right inner knee away from you, keeping the left shoulder blade down on the floor, feeling that support. Good. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, bring everything back to the center. Hug the knees in towards your chest. And then reach through the inside of your legs. Catch a hold of your big toes or the outer ankles and come into a happy baby. And as you take that happy baby, maybe you extend the legs out, heels away from each other, coming into a straddle. And if you're holding onto your legs in that straddle, just release them. Let gravity do the work for you. And then engaging through those same inner thigh muscles to bring your inner heels towards one another, straight up above your hips. So the legs reach up. Reach through the balls of your feet and spread out through all of your toes. Good. Take your front ribs down into the floor. Imagine your front ribs could solidify down into the floor and start to lower your legs down about a third of the way. Hold right there. Take it another third of the way. Hold right there. The front ribs keep drawing in. It's like you're knitting them together. Take it down another third of the way. Find your edge. Get a little shake. And then relax everything down into the floor. Allow your arms to rest by the sides of your body, palms facing up, and with your palms facing up, imagine that the divine yoga angels are pouring whatever it is that whatever spell you cast, whatever wish you have, they're pouring that capacity into the palms of your hands. Your body is in a soft and receptive posture. Allow your collarbones to spread apart from one another. Allow the tension between your eyebrows to dissolve. Notice if you tend to clench your jaw. Separate your top and bottom teeth from one another.
Take a deep breath in and feel as if that breath was cleansing. Current of your breath was moving through your entire body. And as you exhale, complete the process of energetically exfoliating whatever you're releasing through today's practice. And then let your breath become natural. Imagine that those same yoga angels are now breathing that breath for you. You don't even have to do anything. You can relax into your parasympathetic nervous system and let that inner wisdom that heals and builds and digests, let it do its thing as you receive. I like to think of those electric cars like a Tesla. Like this is the moment where we're plugged in, we're regaining the energy that we've put out. We're recharging. And as you start to feel a little bit more recharged, maybe you feel the energy of what you've received in your hands, and you feel as if there's actually something there. You're holding an energy, and then allow your fingers to massage whatever it is that you've been holding, whether it's that release of anger or that release of judgment. And then stretch your arms up and over towards the back and feel as if you could really energize, invigorate, and enliven every single cell and molecule in your body. So the Tesla is fully charged. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Allow this to be a moment of self-love and self-appreciation. And one of the things we could probably all energetically exfoliate is the negative self-talk, the beating ourselves up. So just allow yourself to hold yourself as if you're the most precious child you've ever met, as you are. Roll over onto your right hand side, take a pause, and press yourself to a seated position. And then coming to sit with your opposite shin crossed in front than you would ordinarily do, than you did in the beginning of class. And as you come to that seated position, one more time, organize your body. So feel your two sitting bones, and right in between those two sitting bones is the vertical axis of your body. So align your rib cage and the crown of your head on that vertical axis. And then see if you can make the space between the base of your pelvis to the top of your skull grow even longer. Bring your hands together in front of your heart, and we'll complete our practice with the same chant of Om. So you can either chant with me or just allow yourself to resonate in the sound. Take a deep breath in. And then coming into a place of gratitude. So whatever it is that you wished for, whatever spell you cast or whatever you were releasing, I want you to pretend that you're already in the space, that that's already happened. So we come into the feeling tone of it's already been done. This is how we manifest, you guys. We believe in all of our heart that what it is that we seek is actually what's coming up on our path. And it might be a difficult path, It might have obstacles, but it is our path. So slowly allow your eyes to open.